Good morning. This is Mary Kay Worth, and I'm reading from my Family Legacy Library, number 46, for 6 of my original unpublished works. And this time I'm continuing to read from I Can Say I've Been to Africa. This one has a whole lot of stories. And so you can see how much text. So I'm just going to read one page. I can do it in less than 5 minutes. And the stories are about this woman right here, Cynthia. And that over there is the current king. So here's the stories. Cynthia is the Mabani Mussolini project coordinator. She is a university professor of anatomy and physiology. This is May 9th. Her husband, who I learned the day before, and before the day was out, is Prince David of the royal Swaziland family. David has been advisor to the king. Swaziland's constitution is good and well written. David wrote it. Other advisors to the young king, he is only 46 and was coronated at 18, have convinced the king that the Constitution threatens the king's power. So, David has been tucked aside. His job, is to advise regional chiefs. Cynthia said that the rules of succession for chiefs is very historical and grounded in cultural practice, so it is not really work for an educated man. Cynthia told wonderful stories about her family. Her father lived until he was 97 and her mother 85. He drove a truck back and forth to South Africa for an SA company. It was on one trip during the apartheid era that he was stopped, yelled at, and spanked with his pants dropped. Bending over, grabbing his legs, grabbing his ankles, and putting his head between his legs. He could not understand what they were saying and decided that day he would do whatever it took to get his 10 children to understand English. He and they would understand and communicate. This was no small task for a family living with no electricity, no running water, cooking over an open fire, and growing all crops. The custom next was for Cynthia to be escorted by some of her family. And it was because of her education that Cynthia met David. It was not an arranged marriage, but David followed the tribe custom of asking her father. Lobono, his dowry in the form of cows, was arranged. So Cynthia met some of his family at the groom's home, arriving on Friday and staying until Sunday for inspection. Her father said, because this was the royal family and they may not treat her well, that she must come home on Sunday. Late after sunset, the first night, the groom's family knocked on her door. She was dressed in traditional clothing and painted, taken to the cattle kraal for a ceremony, and declared married to the family. There were many people, food, song, and dance. On Sunday, she was told she would not be going home, that she was the new bride and she was staying with her new family. She cried and said, "Oh, can you ask me to stay to defy my father?" He expects me at home today. She cried, and it took several hours to convince them to let her to go home to see her family. Once arriving in the wee hours, and officially now Monday, her mother wailed and wailed, losing her daughter. It was all settled now. Cynthia had been accepted into the royal Dlamini family. Amazing story. Amazing books. And we're going to go to Africa again tomorrow. Bye.